Merhaba sevgili izleyenler. Bugünkü programımızda Özel Haber programımızın ilk konuğu bugün ülkemizde yaşayan yabancılar. Ülkemizde yaşayan yabancılarla birlikte güzel bir röportaj hazırladık sizlere. Umarım beğenirsiniz. İlk konuğumuz Peter. Kendisi Hisarköy'de kalıyor ve 2 yıldır Kıbrıs'ta ikamet ediyor. Yes Peter. How are you? Welcome Cyprus.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Yeah, you want me to talk about why I came here and all sorts of things like that. I came here 2 years ago from the UK to see an old friend I'd known for about 30-40 years, and he was always asking me to come to Cyprus. He says it's a fantastic place. And at that time I didn't even know there's a north and south. I mean, I found that out later on, but anyway, I came over and I was going on to Thailand. I had a job in Thailand, and that was 2 years ago, and I'm still here. So I didn't quite make it to Thailand. So that says something about this country. I really, I suppose people say they fall in love with it. It's not falling in love with it. I respect it. I think it's a fantastic place. And the people in Cyprus should know this, that it's quite exceptional. The things I like about it is I compare it with England about 50 years ago. Unfortunately, I'm old enough to know that. 50 years ago, you could leave your workshop open, your factory open. I had a factory then in the UK. I lived in a village, and the house was next door to the factory. Sometimes I left the doors open all night. Nothing ever got stolen, and people were polite, and they were nice and friendly, and all the rest of it. And when I arrived in Cyprus, I found England again, 50 years ago. And I find the Cypriot people. I call them Cypriots because I don't believe in this Turkish and Greek nonsense, but there we are. They're absolutely fantastic. Very, very, very, very polite. As English people used to be. The kids are incredible. They've got a respect for people which seems to have disappeared in the UK. There's no respect for anything at all. And that's one of the main reasons I stayed here, because of the people and the place. And then I talk about the place itself. The actual fabulous, it's got a sort of unknown spirit here that people often talk about. And I found it on day 2 I was here. I thought, Christ, this place is something strange about it. I'm a spiritual man myself, and I really connected with the island. And I still haven't quite got the answer what it's all about. But I think there's probably fairies in the mountains, I'm not sure. But,
so what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? Well, I'm a designer, well-known designer in the UK. I got my own company, which I left 10 years ago and gave it to my daughter, who runs it now. It's an award-winning company. It's a design company. We do mainly exhibitions. It's an exhibition company. And I used to design for British Fashion Week, and Penny, my daughter, still does do that. And we install all that sort of stuff. And then I decided I wanted to do something completely different, and so I started to design and build restaurants. And I've designed restaurants for Anthony Warren Thompson, dare I mention his name, but Jamie Oliver, all the top chefs I've worked with. Mainly that's in the exhibition area, where I designed and built restaurants for them. And I love doing the restaurants, but my God, you don't half lose money in restaurants. I mean, I lost a fortune. But there we are. It's a great time. And now I've come back here, and I've started to design here. And I've been working on prototypes and designing mainly furniture and lighting and fittings and all the rest of it. And I'm now opening a place here in Getchikoy. It's going to be a design gallery. First of all, I'm going to be showing my own designs, which I've been working on basically for 18 months. And non-stop every day, even in the heat. I've been working at it, but what I want to do here is to open a gallery for Cypriots, but the standard will be very high, and I'm hoping to find some good designers here, young designers, whatever, to show product. I mean, there's too many artists here. There's many art galleries. This is going to be different because this is going to be product. It's going to be furniture, lighting, fittings, jewellery, any product. But and hopefully this place, you know, Getchikoy is becoming famous now because of the dam, and hopefully it's only a small unit here, but it'll be very nice, I think. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, that's great. And what can you suggest for future in Cyprus, Cypriots?
Just keep on rolling as you are, because you're fine. You don't need to change too much. The fact that things don't work properly here sometimes, why bother? It's you know, it's the easygoing life. Keep it easy.
Yes. Sıradaki konuğumuz Ruben. Kendisi Almanya'dan geldi ve ülkemizde yaşıyor şu anda. Kendisi yazarlık yapıyor. Hobi olarak yazarlık yapıyor ve bugün bizlere Kıbrıs hakkında bir şeyler anlatacak. Neden Kıbrıs'ı seçtiğini ve neden Kıbrıs'ta yaşadığını. Yes, Ruben.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to talk to you. It's lovely to be here on this glorious island. I do like it here. And I came here first off in the early 70s, before the trouble started. Or I say before the trouble started, I think that's the public relations problem that the North Cyprus people have, that the world thinks that the trouble started in 1974, but it didn't. I think there's a lot of work to be done there. And I fell in love with the island then, and decided that when I retired, it was a place I'd like to come. And I did. And I bought a house here, and been very happy. That the things that I love about this island are the friendly people and all the archaeological things. But I'm very, very disappointed that these archaeological things aren't looked after very well. When I look at like the rock tombs and the fish ponds at Lambuza, they're a disaster. It's full of builders' rubble. The tourists can't get down there. And I think money would be far better spent looking after these monuments to get tourists in than painting curbstones black and white. It's, to my mind, a complete waste of resources. And when I see EU money pouring into the country to restore, I say, old religious buildings, old monasteries, which were never used. I mean, they were abandoned pre-1974, and all of a sudden they become a big cultural heritage thing. We can't live without it. And they pump 4 million euros into the monastery at Chamlibel now. But there are much more important things around, I think. Little things that are going to disappear if we don't look after them. In Hisarköy, for example, there is an old hammam, and I think it's probably the only rural hammam in the whole country that's left. And it's just falling into ruin, it's falling into disrepair. And I think things like that need to be protected. And I don't think there's enough being done on that front.
Can you talk about your book a little
My
bit?
book? Okay, well, I came here principally to get some peace and quiet and write a book. And initially I started to rewrite a book that I started 20 years ago, all about Nazi gold and the SS and how people escaped from Germany after the war. And in researching that, I found a lot of information which gave me the theme for my second book, which is about terrorism. It's about an attack in central London where some terrorists mimic a big industrial accident. And through chance or through eavesdropping, electronic eavesdropping, the security services find out that this operation is going to happen, but they don't know where, they don't know when. And parallel to this, they find that in a virus research establishment is a radical Al-Qaeda terrorist sleeper. And this virus gets out into the outside world. So we have two threats. And the real story is not about the terrorism itself. The real story is about the reaction on the community, about what happens afterwards.
So have you published it yet?
Yes, it was published last week. It was online on Lulu. And I've publicised it on Facebook. I've got over 12,000 hits on Facebook within a week for it. And so if that translates itself into sales, I'm going to be a happy guy.
So are you thinking to doing translation in Turkish as well?
I don't know. Let's see what the reaction is to the English one first of all, and then maybe Turkish, maybe even German.
Sevgili izleyenler, sıradaki konuğumuz Neil. Kendisi Karşıyaka'da yaşıyor ve bizlere bugün Kıbrıs'ta yaşama hakkında biraz bilgi verecek. Kıbrıs'taki hayatından bahsedecek. Yes, Neil, welcome our program in Kıbrıs TV.
Thank you very much indeed. It's a pleasure to be on the program.
And can you talk about something about your Cyprus, what you like?
Yes, well, my wife and I came here about 6 years ago, and we love the climate, we like the atmosphere, we like North Cyprus very much, and we decided that we would get a holiday home here. And it's turned out that we seem to spend more time here than we do now in UK because the weather is better, and we have good friends, and we're well looked after, and we like the people here in North Cyprus.
And you can go on.
Well, I retired from working all over the world, in USA, in the Middle East, and in UK. And the work I've been doing has been involved in business improvement. And that's developed into a number of different areas. For example, once in Dubai, I was working with Etisalat, which is a telecommunications company, helping an improvement program for them. And then I worked with Siemens in Dubai, helping them with their baggage handling project for the new Terminal 3, which was being built, and it's a fantastic place. So I've had some very interesting experiences, as well as working in the oil and gas industry as well. So I've worked in Saudi, and I've worked in the renewable gas energy, or the renewable energy sector in the UK as well more recently. So I've been doing a lot of different kind of things all over the world. And more recently in this part of the world, I've been helping an organisation called Top 10, who award to the top 10 companies in a country for good management, good personnel skills, and good management systems. So we select these from recommendations and so forth. And for recently, last week, I was in Armenia, and we gave some presentations there. And next year, you may be interested to know that it's going to be held in Istanbul. So we're looking for companies that we might be able to present a bronze, silver, or gold award to for their services.
That's great. Can you talk about your village and your life in Cyprus?
Yes, here in Cyprus, we moved to Karşıyaka, as I say, about 6 years ago. And one of my interests is squash and tennis. And my wife plays tennis, and you'll hear a little bit from her in a moment. And but from the squash point of view, I used to play squash for Scotland many years ago, and I really stopped playing a lot when I was in my 30s. But more recently, I just play for fun up at Güzeliyet at Kalkanlı University. And my friend who lives in the south persuaded me to enter the Cyprus Open last year and the year before. And for my age group, I was runner-up in both of those, so I'm quite pleased with that. I can show you the cup for that. My other interest is sailing, and I love dinghy sailing, small boat sailing, so I bought a laser. It's a small, very small boat for one person, and my aim last year and this year was to sail it round the north coast from one end of North Cyprus to the other. So I sailed it from Yaşayan to as far as the Famagusta, and arrived there just on the side of Varosha, but not on the Greek side. And that was a great experience, and I had my friends to help me with towing a trailer to pick my boat up from various places. But I've also got a larger boat which I keep at Karpaz Gate, and this year I hope to sail that to Turkey and as far as I can up to Istanbul. So that's what I do for my enjoyment out here.
That's great. And what can you suggest for Cypriots in Cyprus?
Well, I think my experience of living and working with Cypriots is that I find them very, very hardworking. And when we want something like a new television or a new washing machine or something installed or mended or fixed, they are very, very good. And I'm very impressed with the work ethic of most of the business people here in Cyprus. It was very nice to see the support that comes from Turkey. And I see that with the infrastructures such as the roads and the new dam with the new water system. So I think these are all very good things. And what I would like to see is perhaps that the international community would recognise North Cyprus for what it is. And if possible, like I saw with the Berlin Wall, when that came down, I would like to see perhaps a reunification of some sort where Cyprus becomes one and all.
Evet sevgili izleyenler, sıradaki konuğumuz Neil'in eşi Sally. Birlikte yaşıyorlar. Kıbrıs'a 6 yıldan beri ikamet ediyorlar ve Kıbrıs'ta yaşamayı çok seviyorlar. Bize bunlarla ilgili bir şeyler anlatacaklar. Yes, Sally.
Hello, yes.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Can you talk about Cyprus? Why did you choose Cyprus?
Yes. I'm a retired solicitor from England, and I've known Cyprus for nearly 50 years now. We first came here in the 60s when I was younger, and because I'm interested in archaeology and history, this country fascinated me. It always did. It's very beautiful, and we love the people. And I've known it ever since, really. In a way, it was a disappointment to come back in 1974, and it had all gone to worms. But we've got used to how it is now, and we love it. We're very comfortable here, and we have a fantastic lifestyle here. We play tennis 3 times a week, and in the summer there are about 30 of us, and we have an aquarobics class and laughter in the sea, which is great fun. And I enjoy the turtles. We do the turtle conservation on Gozalyali Beach. Usually there are about 50 or 60 nests there. And we have to walk the beach early in the morning and late at night. And it's just magic seeing the little baby turtles hatch out of the nest and trying to help them if they've got stuck. That's fantastic. I also like gardens and flowers. And I find that in my garden here I can grow so many wonderful things that we can't grow in England. It's always exciting, and there's always colour in the garden. Even in the winter, in January, it's full of colour instead of just dead and brown. And the food's fantastic, the shopping's fantastic. I can buy anything I want here, really. I don't have any problems not being able to get Bovril or Marmite or other strange things that people want. And I find the shops are lovely. We like the people. It's very easy to buy things or to get things done. You don't have to wait for 2 months for the dishwasher to come. It comes straight away. And look at the mountain. It's beautiful. We like walking in the mountains, and I like to count how many different orchids we can find while we walk in the mountains. Fortunately, I don't have to work now. And yes, what else?
And what can you suggest for Cypriots in Cyprus about their country?
About their country? Well, obviously it's really, really sad, the situation at the moment, but I think you've proved to the world that you want your independence, and if there is no agreement as to what should be done, I would really, really hope that a resolution will be put to the United Nations that this country should be recognised as an independent country, and that all the countries of the world would hopefully do as you have expressed your wish, grant you the recognition that you well deserve, and to take your rightful place in the world.